Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing something different today. I'm going to be reading out some troll comments that I get on my YouTube channel. It's a fun video to do. I know that some people don't like trolls. I actually do like the trolls, and I try and have a conversation with them, trying to find out if they're being serious and or if they're just joking. And when I do reply back to the trolls, I do it in a way that I troll the trolls, and 9 times out of 10 they don't reply back. I think they try and get a rise out of you and make you feel bad, and when you reply back and they know that it doesn't bother you, then most of the time they just don't reply back to you, and that's fine. And that's the kind of trolling that I like to do back to them, so that I know that if they don't reply back to me, I've certainly gotten to them instead of them getting to me. So whenever I get a troll comment, I do save a screenshot of it and I post it on social media. And some people comment saying, "Oh, I'm sorry that that happens to you." And I don't do it to get people to say, "Oh, I'm sorry that happens to you." I actually do it for fun because it's a really good part of my YouTube journey. And without the trolls, then sometimes I wouldn't get popular videos. So I've selected a few of them that I'm going to be reading out today, and I'll show you my reply to them as well. In fact, I think all of them that I've selected, I have replied back to them. So you get to see the kind of conversations that I have with some of these people. Now, before I read them, some of them is about my personal appearance, and they kind of try and weave my appearance into movie-related issues, which I find bizarre. A lot of it is to do with my accent, because apparently I don't have the right accent. They've got the right accent and I don't. A lot of it's just about opinion as well, opinion on the movie. So I'm going to start reading them out and hopefully we can get a laugh out of it. The first one is from Jumpman G. He said, or she said, "Be original, for crying out loud." And I just said, Jumpman G, be original, 3 crying out loud. Next one is from Look Sharp Production. They said, "That intro sucks, dislike." And I said, "You're the best. Thanks for the support, as always." And they said, "Are you crazy? I'm not your supporter." And then somebody else commented, but I said, "You are leaving a thumb, subscribed, watching and commenting. You're pretty much a super fan." Andy Chavez said, "You're quite confident in your information when you don't believe what Jamie Lee Curtis says. Being that she was in the movie, I think that she would have a better gauge than you. You really do come off as an insufferable know-it-all sometimes." And I said, "Than and you're." Obviously, I'm trying to pretend that I am being a know-it-all with my correction of their spelling. Oh, here's one I didn't reply to. They said, "How Halloween Resurrection should have ended." And their comment was, "How it should have ended, should have never begun." And I've circled the ofs. Random. Someone said, "Good analysis, but could you get an on-camera frontman to deliver the review that English-speaking fans can even remotely understand, or at least put up English subtitles?" And I said, "What language do you think I was speaking?" This is quite a funny one. Someone commented on my every James Wan movie ranked. They said, "Which James Wan movie was your favourite?" And I said, "What?" And they said, "Which James Wan movie was your favourite?" And I said, "I understand your question. I just don't understand why you're asking it in a video that tells you the answer." The video is every James Wan movie ranked, so assuming that if he watched the video, then he would know what my favourite was. Monkey Boss said, "Why don't you do something about that horribly shitty looking beard? It's an insult to beards everywhere." And I said, "Apologies, would you like me to shave?" iPolter said, "And another I'm right, God. No one cares." I said, "Just hit the unsubscribe button and all will be good in the world for you." They said, "Wow, the amount of commitment I've had watching your videos just for you to say that. I like your content and you just irks me when you say you're right, like err." And I said, "You'll not be getting any praise from me with your commitment. With commitment also comes common decency and respect. You have neither. To gain respect, you need to be respectful." And that's something a lot of people forget. I think some people think they can say what they want to you because it's your YouTube channel, but you can't say anything back to them in the way that they reply to you. Something I do in all of my comments, every single one of them, is I put myself on the level and I give them the level of respect that they give me. So if you're watching this video and you see some of the comments that I make are disrespectful, they are intentionally disrespectful because I'm replying to a disrespectful comment. Login Theology says, this review is total shite. It's an absolute disgrace. I said, can I offer you a refund? The thing is, people seem to think that they're owed something when they watch your channel, and I owe nobody anything. This is a hobby of mine. I can do what I want. I can say what I want on my channel. I give my time to put my content out there. People might disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine, but for someone to say it's an absolute disgrace, almost like I owe them something. So yeah, I can give you a refund if you want. Silverstone said, please work on your English accent. I need a translator when I watch your videos. I said, I've been speaking English my whole life. Please work on your listening skills outside of your own accent. You'll probably see some comments about my accent in this video. And I'm still trying to process what people think when they say stuff like that. It's almost like their accent is the correct accent and any other accent outside of their own is wrong. And it's strange how some people just process like that. It's bizarre. Hoochie Moochie said, I started this video and stopped it right away because of how silly the voice is. And I said, I started reading your comment and read it all the way through because of how silly you are. This is a comment to one of my videos, every Ghostface killer in the Scream franchise ranked. The Reaper Angel said, spoilers, damn you YouTubers for screwing up the newest one. And I said, don't even pretend that you had no idea I was going to add the killers to the list of killers. Hello? James Ottman said, what the hell is your accent, bro? And I said, it's exactly that, an accent. Shadow of Boston says, who cares? Get a life. And I said, get Swift covered. Vegan Skeletons said, dude, you aging bad. Are you eating enough meat? And I said, I'm aging like fine wine. I'd done a video on Laurie Strode a couple of years ago, saying it might not be Laurie Strode in a certain scene. And this person said, that's her. It's Oblivious. LOL SMH. Oblivious. A guy with an uncle said, thanks for 6 minutes of nothing dick sauce. And I said, I'm telling your uncle. Sean McLaughlin said, why wear that top on a non-football YouTube video? And I said, for the same reason I wear an Adidas top on a non-fashion YouTube video. Michael Wilbert said, say waistcoat again, please. And I said, inadvertently tell me I said waistcoat, the correct spelling, too many times again, please. Bloggerty Shmoo said, fella, your just for men went wrong, just saying. And I said, how can you tell? Prod Migo Muchi Ant said, I don't know how you managed to waste my time, but good job. And I said, you're welcome. I have around 3 videos per week. Subscribe and waste more time. I done a collaboration with The Critical Drinker for a Halloween video that I done last year. And this person, David Withers, said, and suddenly this channel gets removed from my subs list. Hard pass on the Borfing as shit collabs with anti-SWJ, is that anti-social warrior justice channels. Strange, I did get a few of these comments from people because I've done a collaboration with The Critical Drinker. Now, The Critical Drinker is a Scottish YouTuber, and I want to collaborate with Scottish YouTubers, of course, because we're from Scotland, and apparently we don't speak English. So it was always good to get Scottish people on it, and obviously The Critical Drinker being the biggest Scottish YouTuber in the world, and to get him on was an absolute pleasure because we didn't talk about anti-social justice stuff. In the video, we talk about Halloween from 1978 and its impact on cinema, and that's it. We didn't talk about women bad and all that kind of stuff. That's not what we spoke about. So this person only saw me collaborating with The Critical Drinker and they commented and that was it. So they probably didn't subscribe to me anyway, so there you go. Matthew Paulding said, I unsubscribed to this channel. No real Halloween fan would like this crap. You now have zero credibility, Wolfman. And I said, I'm ashamed of myself. And that's one thing that people don't understand is everyone's got a different opinion to something. Now, I like to debate with people who have a different opinion to me. That's what I love to do. But some people just can't accept that there's opinions from different opinions from different people. And when you speak to them about it, you're having a debate, but they're not debating with you. They're just arguing with you. And to the point where you're like, nah, I can't be bothered with this. And when you say you can't be bothered with it, they think they've won in some sort of battle that if they think they've won it, then their opinion is the right one and my opinion is the wrong one. Jad Jason said, WTF is this accent? It's barely understandable. And I said, it's an ancient language only a handful of people can understand. Now, again, I kind of try and reply back in a fun way to start with to see what the reply is. Like I said, most of the time they don't respond because that type of response to them makes them think, he knows his accent's bad, so I won't bother replying back to them, and that's it. So most of the time, I don't get a response. Spillman16 said, I'm going to be unsubscribing if the stew videos continue. And I said, best unsubscribe now then. And they said, will do. So I put a little love heart next to it. And then they replied saying, you're going to be pretty sad when the movie comes out and the story actually makes sense and has no stew. And I said, I'm an adult, I'm sure I'll be fine. That's another thing that some people don't understand is if I've got an opinion on a film that's not out yet, and if I think something's going to happen in a movie and it doesn't, I'm still going to be okay. It's something that if I say, I don't know, the next Scream 7 comes out and I say, right, I think Gail's going to be the killer. If Gail doesn't end up being the killer, I'll go, I thought Gail was going to be the killer, but this person's the killer instead, and I'll live my life and I'll move on. But then some people go, you say Gail was going to be the killer and she turned out not to be the killer, egg in your face. And I'm like, what? No, that's not how it works. This is quite a funny one. This is a kind of collaboration of some other ones. Someone said, Scream sex, love it. And somebody said, one of Mindy's ghetto friend. I think he said girlfriend. The Scream Sex trailer screams sex. So when I say girlfriend, some people in America with accents that are the correct accent, of course, they think I'm saying ghetto friend instead of girlfriend. But I'll say it here today. Ghetto friend, girlfriend. And the same with Scream Sex. They think I'm saying Scream Sex, but I'm actually saying Scream Six. Sex. Six. It's the same with Halloween 6. Halloween 6. Halloween sex. It's completely different. And again, that's not just in my accent. Every accent around the world can tell the difference between and eh. But there are some people that I don't know if they leave their house or not, and they just go online and maybe watch videos that are from other people in their area with their accent, and then when they hear somebody else with a different accent, they'll go, oh, I'm trying to decipher your accent into my own, and that's how they come up with Halloween sex, Scream sex, ghetto friend. So they're just not really using their brain in order to function. So when they pull me up for things like that, they think they're getting one over on me, but in actual fact, what they're telling me is they don't understand any accent out of their own. So, joke's on you. Raven Detion put a dot on his comment and I just said, good point. Natalie S said, LOL. Sorry, I'm not subscribed and you'll never get a play button. USA and British YouTubers are so much better than you. And then she said, USA and UK owns your ass. Go eat a potato. LMAO. And I said, where do you think Scotland is? Now, obviously, she is thinking that I'm Irish. Some people around, mainly the US, they can't tell the difference between Scottish and Irish, which is bizarre. It's like not being able to tell the difference between an American and an Australian. That's how different the accents are. So she's just proven that she's obviously silly. And it is quite, well, it's not funny at the time, but this was I think it was 2 years ago. She said, you'll never get a play button. I think at the time I was at like 30,000 subscribers. And at the time I probably thought to myself, do you know what? I probably won't. And if I do, it'll be when I'm long gone. But I'm at 70,000 subscribers now. So hopefully I may get a play button by the end of the year. But fingers crossed on that. John Roberto said, I do think you good at finding out who killed. How could Miss Loomis lift up Keke body and throw her off makes no sense. Suggest you listen to Zach Cherry and not try and do your own analogy, as it seems you're getting it wrong. You get some right, but also some wrong. And I Well, obviously I had to decipher that one. And I said, Mickey was with Derek at the time of the killing. Mrs. Loomis was unaccounted for. She was first at the scene of the crime. Mickey was at the party with Derek. Mickey would obviously be the caller and Mrs. Loomis would be the killer. And if you know Scream, it doesn't matter about the size of the killer. I'm sure if Zach Cherry is a fan, he'll know all of this as well. So that's just me basically replying back to a comment on who killed who in Scream 2. And I think John Roberto and maybe other subscribers as well think that if there's a YouTuber out there with more subscribers than yourself, then the person with the most subscribers will automatically be correct. And that's not the case. There's YouTubers out there with millions of subscribers that are always wrong, but they've got millions of subscribers, so that their fan base is always going to outweigh channels like my own. Now, I'm not saying Zach Cherry is huge. He's obviously a big channel, but because he's a bigger channel than myself, people will tend to agree with him instead of myself because my channel's smaller. And I'm not saying Zach Cherry is wrong, and I'm not saying he's right either. And I'm just using him as an example in this because his name was mentioned. But that tends to be the case with people who are watching YouTube channels. And if they don't have a channel of their own, they'll go to the biggest channel and agree with them because they've got more subscribers, which obviously means they're correct. Suff said, for someone that really don't like Scream 6, you're obsessed with making videos about it again and again. You're fucking embarrassing. And I said, it's slightly awkward that you've got me confused with someone else. Eek. Now, before I read the rest of the comment, I'm pretending that I'm assuming that he's talking about someone else. Now, I didn't say I didn't like Scream 6, and he's saying that I don't like Scream 6. If he watched my channel and watched my review, he would know that I like Scream 6. So the fact that he's saying I don't like Scream 6, I'm just pretending and playing around with the fact that he must be having me mixed up with someone else. So then he replies saying, no, I haven't. You constantly tweet about Scream 6 more than once, almost daily, but you don't like it. For someone that don't like Scream 6, you love to talk about it on Twitter and make videos about it. Give it a rest, mate. You're dull. Your personality is boring and you're one of them Stu's not dead freaks. I can't figure a single thing likeable about you. And I just replied back saying, again, you're confusing me with someone else. I never said I didn't like Scream 6. Apologies. Wrong person. Now, he's obviously got the right person, but he's taking words and just changing everything about it. If I say Scream 6 is the worst film in the franchise, he'll say, you don't like Scream 6. He's really just, he's taking a sentence and he's creating a whole scenario and narrative throughout that one sentence, when if he actually just sat down and just took a chill pill and watched the videos, if he was really that interested, then it would go, oh, do you know what? He actually does like Scream 6, but the things that he maybe didn't like, this is his reasoning behind it. That's understandable, but people are not like that these days, especially trolls on social media. They want instant information, and if they don't get instant information, they'll fill the blanks with their own narrative, and then this is the outcome that we get. Infinity Westbrook said, just unsubscribe. And I said, I can't, it's my channel. Eric's Edits said, sir, if you don't know anything about the film, then why did you make a video about the film and its poster? Do some research. And I said, sir, nobody knows anything about the film. I assume you also know nothing about the film. And then he replied, pathetic reply. And I said, I had to match the comment. Pathetic comments require pathetic replies. And again, he didn't reply back to me with that. And like I said, most people don't reply when they understand you're trolling them back. Michael Catarega said, I hate the Scream films, but I love your channel. And then he replied, this was 6 months ago, he said that. And then an hour ago, when I took the screenshot, he said, you're such a fairy. Can't wait to see you say absolutely nothing and just sit there like a numbskull as usual when you appear on Drum Dum's Halloween streams. God, you're embarrassing. Total beta, or total BETA, whatever that means. I'm just highlighting this guy's comments because in the space of 6 months, he's went from saying, I love your channel, to calling me that. It's unbelievable. These people, this guy, he seems genuine, but I think he's genuinely unhinged. Big Pappy Matt said, listen, leprechaun, comparing Stud death to Kirby's death isn't the same. Kirby just got stabbed and it was confirmed by Wes Craven that she wasn't dead. For Stu, he got a frickin' TV to the head. Also, it was confirmed that he was dead by Wes Craven. Plus, they wouldn't bring him back after all these years. and they will make many fans mad. I didn't reply back to this person, I don't think. Maybe I did later on, but he's calling me leprechaun. So he obviously thinks I'm Irish, but again, your punctuation is atrocious. James Grezichuk says, okay dude, do you know what a true horror film is? Jim Greziguk. And I said, I've never heard of Jim Greziguk. Is it good? And that's something that people just don't understand. This is a video, top 50 horror movies of all time, which has been updated since then. Because I've got a different top 50 to this person, I'm not a true horror fan. The only true horror fans will agree with Jim. And if they're identical to Jim's top 50, then they're a true horror fan. What kind of world is that to live in, that everybody has to have the same opinion? Otherwise, you're wrong. It's just stupid. Robert Wakely said, stupid Scottish tosser. And I said, I don't toss people that often. Steve Stevenson said, Hat was the second movie. Your accent's thick. I could make it out, or could you list them all in English? Again, this guy was being genuine. I think this guy commented a few times, and he obviously thinks I'm not speaking English, but at the same time, he's not even typing in English. It's just, I had to try and decipher most of this guy's comments, and it's hard. I think it's harder for me to decipher this guy's comments into English than it is for someone who thinks their accent's the correct one to try and decipher my accent into their own accent. Now, this is a private message that I got from a guy called Yip. Now, I do get private messages quite a bit. I do get some really horrible, nasty comments quite a lot. Sometimes people don't do it publicly. They like to do it privately, as if I can't screenshot them. But this guy said, you're genuinely such a vile piece of shit, you condescending prick. And I said, do we know each other? Because I genuinely didn't know who this was. And they said, why would anyone want to know you? You're like Marmite, mate, except no one fucking likes you. Well, in fact, Marmite, some people love it, some people hate it. No one can understand a word you say in your shit videos, and you're so fucking weird and full of yourself. You're genuinely one of the worst YouTubers I've ever seen. And I said, no worries, thanks for watching. So this was on Twitter. So he's obviously watched my YouTube videos and then came to Twitter to message me. Now, I think this was when you could message someone without being a friend on Twitter, I'm sure. Or I don't know how he got into my DMs. He slid into my DMs. But this is just an example of someone who genuinely hates people just for who they are. Now, I don't know what I'd done to offend this guy. And I don't think he ever said why. But I'm sure someone from the Scream community on Twitter said that he contacted them about a Scream video that they done, and he was doing the same to them. So I think it's probably to do with a Scream opinion that I had that he just didn't like. Flip Thunder said, how the heck did Halloween 1978 not make this list? That movie created the slasher genre. Shake my head. And I said, how far into the video did you get before you stopped watching? This is a video that I'd done a top 10 in, and Halloween was number 5. So you must have just got to the start of the video and thought, I'm just going to rate that. This will be the last one. Somebody said, I would rather have root canal without Novocaine and a bamboo manicure. Then I would a Jennifer Lopez biopic. And I replied saying, you'd rather all the pain and then watch it anyway? What? I always kind of play on that when people say then instead of than. If you're using it in that context, it sounds terrible when you're doing that. I would rather such and such then such and such. So I kind of play on that. I don't know if people know this, but when people say then instead of than, I tend to ignore those comments quite a lot because it really does annoy me. It's the same with of and have. If someone replaces the word have with of, then I kind of tend to ignore those comments, unless it's a morally articulate comment that I can reply to. But if it's one of these ones where they say, you should have done this, or you're this and you're that, if they're just being nasty and they've got really bad punctuation or grammar, then I tend to just ignore them because they're a waste of space, to be honest. A lot of the trolls are a waste of space, let's be honest, but some of them are fun to reply back to. And like I said, I don't take any of the troll comments seriously. Most of the time they are just worthless pieces of crap, to be honest, that I do dedicate time to. I do dedicate my replies to as well. And I like to reply back to them because I like to teach them a lesson most of the time. Some of these people are just genuinely silly. Some of them genuinely think that there's only one accent in the whole of the entire English language. So I think it's good to educate some of these people because they are genuinely really stupid. But yeah, I do have a lot of fun with them. So every time or any time that I post one of them on social media like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, then don't say, oh, I'm sorry that happens to you, because I like it. I think it's quite fun. I like to engage with some of these trolls. And I've said this time and time again that 9 out of 10 of these trolls don't reply back to me after I've responded to them, because they've got what they needed. They got the reply. And sometimes they might try and come in for a second bite, but with the reply that I give them, whether it's an honest reply or a sarcastic reply, then they go, I can't get into that person's head. I'll move on to the next person. And that's something that's quite important if you're going to be a YouTuber, that you need to be prepared for the trolls. Now, you have to be prepared for trolls on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, etc. But a lot of the time, some people don't like to put their face out there, because not only will they be trolled, but they'll be trolled with their looks as well. And that's what happens to me. I get trolled for my looks sometimes as well. I'm assuming that female YouTubers will get it more than male YouTubers, and that's a shame, but it happens. And with me being a male YouTuber, I don't get it as often. And even when I do get it, I don't care. You know, there's certain things that I can change in my life, but I can't change the way I look. You know, I can try and stay fit and healthy, but this is the face that I was born with. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault that I look this way. It's not even my fault that I look like this. It's just the way I look. And I can't afford to look completely plastic or different than what I am. So I don't care that people say, oh, haha, look at the state of your nose. I'm like, well, I didn't intentionally give myself this nose. This is a nose that I was born with, so I can't do anything about that. Apologies. So I'm going to wrap this up just now. I thought it was a cool video to do because I do save up my troll comments. The comments that I read out were comments that I've had over the past 2 years. And I've had a lot more than that. I've had a lot more personal comments and private messages as well of people trolling me, sending me pictures of myself and editing the photographs and stuff like that. It's all fun, but at the same time, you do get people that try and hit the buttons, and there are people who have crossed the line. I won't mention what they've done or said, but they've crossed the line, and that's when I block people. I don't block people that often. I've only blocked a handful of people, but the people that I do block really do deserve it, because they get really personal and they do certain things that I can't even mention on this video. So as long as they're healthy trolls, then I'll reply back to them. If it gets nasty, then I do have to block them, because that's what you kind of have to do, for your own sanity. But anyway, guys, do you like any of the comments that I get? And if you are a troll, then you can certainly leave a comment down below. I won't be reading them all out, because I know that I do see comments that people want me to read out. I get intentional trolls because they want to get their name read out, and I don't read those comments out. The ones that I've read out with their names, they weren't expected for me to read their name out, because they were being genuine to me, thinking that they were right and I was wrong. But yeah, I don't go out my way and make people famous, because I'm not famous myself. But yeah, leave your comments down below, guys. Let me know what you think of troll comments. If you're a YouTuber yourself, or even on social media, do you get all those nasty YouTube or Facebook or Twitter comments? If you have, let me know down below what the worst one was and how you responded to it, because that's what I want to know from other people, how you respond to these troll comments. As you can see in the video today, I don't mind them. But anyway, guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!